Let's go to game 2 then. Picks and bans are here.
Jifffy takes to the sky. FNATIC, they're just going to be focusing on the Phoenix as Jifffy rains Terror in the backline. Double tap. He's going to be able to get up for now, but a big snipe coming through. Zyrhoes finds 3 are over the top.
Pushing him forward though. Oh no, and Realzx from the sky. Only does work here as Realzx dives into the backline.
Picks and bans on your screen. FNATIC will take first pick, first ban again. Picks and bans wise though, Tolly. Do you want to see anything different from either team?
Maybe Naja will still be banned because both these two teams like it. Thor necessarily was really good. I just want to see FNATIC change it up objectively. They're gonna remain with the Bakasura first ban. I really want to see Athena pick from FNATIC. Now, third, fourth bans coming out of both teams. A lot of Guardians off the table.
So why do you want to see Athena being picked up earlier this time? You didn't feel Kumba made the impact enough?
It did and it didn't because it baited out early on, but the first death of the game was the Kumakarna because he felt a little bit too comfortable to the point where it's like, okay, well, I can play aggressively here. I still have my passive to buy me time.
We were like 7-0 at the time, so yeah, you know, me dying's okay, and then it happened again.
Unfortunately, like once became twice, and then that's where things started to go downhill from there.
Okay, well, we'll see if they do switch things up. Capri banned again, so FNATIC still 100% no participation in any of these games this year. Have seen a Capri in their games.
Not at all. Now, my 3 options for FNATIC here are either Giannis, Thor, or Athena. 3 global presence gods. They went for the sole first pick last game, I believe it was. It was flexed.
But another flex pick available for them then is Chronos. They chose Sol last time. This time Chronos. Same sort of thing though, right?
Exactly. You do have the flex between your Hunter and your mid lane, Zyrhoes and Realzx, really favoring the Chronos. We do have Huyi again for Arkkyl. He played it very well last game. And Scylla for jungler this game yet again.
I feel Jungler's damage on Scylla last game was very low in the early stages of the game. But for the most part, he played that very safe, and I think that's what he needed to do in this game. I think they were expecting to try and focus him down a lot more. He uses Purification well, Sentinels well, and I'm a Monster to disengage and didn't die too much.
And speaking of playing safe, he also built the Warlock Sash throughout that game, trying to get his health pool really high, allowing himself to survive the Thor burst. Because if he survives that, there were multiple times where he was able to disengage with Purification, using his Ama Monster just for the movement speed bonus away.
Now, that's an Apollo, which tells me Chronos is definitely mid, and there's the Athena that you called for here, Tolly, to be a little bit more aggressive this time around, maybe, or at least set them up for some more. And with Apollo being locked in, that tells me for sure that's going to Realzx.
Yes, more than likely that is going to be in fact Realzx. Now, technically, these all 3 are flex picks. You can have
True.
Athena, Apollo, and Chronos in the solo lane, but knowing FNATIC, you know, having coaching them, I'm more than likely going to see Big Man on Athena, Realzx on Apollo, and Zyrhoes on Chronos.
Well, they've got the opportunity to switch things up if they do. Leftovers back to them this time round. We will see.
So we have word that Big Man is not playing this game.
Interesting.
It's going to be somebody else.
MetroBoomin.
MetroBoomin, not a name that I'm familiar with.
How is it
at
not
all.
familiar? You used to coach this team, Tolly.
This is a player that I've not heard of. So
And you're a coach. Shame on you.
Shame on
Shame
me.
on you.
We do have Hunbatz.
You were actually listed as a coach, as a potential substitute from this week, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I was
You
getting
didn't know
ready.
about it
I
either.
could just put a computer up here right on the side of the desk and maybe play the game while casting.
Bakasura is banned now. Ante and Guan, what are you going to play?
Bellona?
Bellona. Well, we'll see if we'll see Maniac go to Bellona, but one thing you won't be able to go for is Vermana, because that one's banned out by Leftovers as well. So it's similar set up from Leftovers this game here, Tolly. We've got the same 3 picks out of them so far.
If it ain't broke, why fix it, right? Leftovers sticking to their guns to this strategy. They're going to look for maybe FNATIC to make these aggressive plays and look for the counter plays, because it's been working out for them. Ares being locked in yet again for Leftovers for Badgah. It worked out for them in certain situations. Why not do it again? The early game, they actually had a good opportunity in the board buff invade with the Ares play.
Now, I'm not sure who MetroBoomin is. I don't remember the name from the EU things, but a lot of them have been changing the names lately. Like, Frezzy is now known as Mana-like, and then you've also got Murder, who was Kanye Life, was Murder before that, and then Badger's also changed his name a couple of times, so we'll find out, I'm sure, eventually who MetroBoomin is. We'll find out if it actually is just called MetroBoomin. He's just one of these, he's Jifffy 2.0, the support version of Jifffy.
We're going to see MetroBoomin as we do have Thor and Amaterasu, last pick for FNATIC. So Jiffy's still in the Thor. This time maniaKK on Amaterasu, not looking for the Bellona.
Not seen too much Amaterasu out of him, though. Oh, actually, that's a lie. We have seen a bit of Amaterasu out of him this year as well.
A little bit.
I guess he's not too worried about Nika in this lane. It didn't seem so last game.
Well, the reason why he wasn't worried was because the early level 4 kill that Jifffy provided pressure off of maniaKK. Now, we looked at yesterday's games where Scary D got ganked. He survived under his tier 1 tower. Now, how he died in that situation, Scary D wouldn't have been taken off so well.
So they don't. Only difference with Leftovers roster this time round is Bellona instead of Raven. Let's go into game for game 2.
Jungler whipping the ult, but the snipe is even better. Cherryo. Really pumping up the damage, very taking too much damage.
Nice,
Nika's
Nika.
in, however, be able to confirm that kill. The root is out. Nika gets that double kill. Great rotation.
Leftovers took game 1 in good fashion. FNATIC, though, can fight their way back in. We're tuning with MetroBoomin, who's going to be replacing Big Man Tings for this game. Don't know the whole story behind that one. Whether could it have been the performance thing from last game. We mentioned, like, you know, Comba was the one that caught out a couple of times.
You just never know what exactly the mindset is of these teams now. It is the second half of the season, so anything goes. Maybe teams are going into desperation mode and they really want to try out new things. You just never know.
And to be fair, desperation mode is something you could talk about with FNATIC, considering, you know, they're now, after that last game, 5-12 this season, touted as a top 3 team in Europe coming into the season still, just based off some of the names in that roster, maniaKK, Zyrhoes, Realzx, and so far, they've not had a good start to the season.
Normally, when you have 2 new players mixed in with 3 really seasoned veteran players, it's an easy transition. Sometimes it works, sometimes in this situation for FNATIC, unfortunately, it doesn't.
And it is a jungler and support roles as well that they change, which are very, very impactful in terms of team fights and synergies.
Yeah, you have to be very vocal, very outgoing, not afraid to make plays, not afraid to be the first one to go in and sacrifice yourself as long as you're making the efficient trade.
Well, power potions. This game is going to be the order of things. We can see that we've got Thor, Jifffy, and Zyrhoes will be starting with power potions. Meanwhile, Cherryo opted to just go with the boots, but jungler in the mid lane playing that Scylla has picked up the power potion to go with his soulstone.
Yeah, he wants to play very aggressive in terms of the laning phase. He wants to be able to full clear level 3 with his soulstone purple pot. And it's not a bad idea considering the fact that you're up against a Thor Chronos who has a pretty relatively easy time to clear.
Pick up the buffs and get to lane in a decent fashion here. It should be pretty even between the two. Both of them with that throwing dagger. This advantage should really go to Apollo Athena, right?
Yeah, especially considering the fact that they got to the lane a lot earlier than they did last game with the Neath that went Transcendence. This time Apollo with throwing dagger, cleared the back harpies, cleared the red, cleared the boars faster. They got to the lane at the same time. Early meditation being procced by the Athena.
Yeah, early on, and you can see that Badgah is still in a good position with his health there. If they're so beautiful here, it could have been a bit of a different story there. But the support's pretty low in terms of the health bars there, but MetroBoomin will be a little bit of a better situation in terms of potions. I say that as he pops one himself again. So at the moment, that meditation down corner, they're still fighting over in that duo lane, still going in on each other.
And this is really a nice change of pace from the last game specifically. Leftovers was very aggressive in the duo lane. They were able to outpush FNATIC. And now in this situation, everything is even.
Oh. Ricochet was good, but a good turn for MetroBoomin will stop Arkkyl following that one up. Badgah didn't have any chains available to lock down Realzx then, so Realzx dashes away back to safety for now, but he's now out of potions.
Yeah, now he was really scared of those chains coming up, dashing away, and now FNATIC is forced to concede the pressure to Leftovers just because of the Ares on Badgah.
Full wave going to come in there. Badgah going to put the pressure on as we tune in with mid lane. Jifffy and Zyrhoes doing what they can to just continue farming up. Level 3 for Zyrhoes right now, just off level 4, and you can see jungler in the same sort of boat. The junglers themselves, Jifffy and Cherryo, they're both level 4.
Yeah, and right now, FNATIC, they have the pressure mid lane. Leftovers is conceding it, but they're fine with that because the Scylla Purple Pot Soulstone is going to clear the wave anyway. It's up to FNATIC to do something with this advantage that they have off the midway, whether it's invading a back harpies, whether it's an early gank, but they're electing to play a little bit safe. They're going to allow Jifffy to hit level 5 and then maybe look for a play with that as he does rotate over to the dual lane side.
He is going to rotate over to the duo. The balls are available. Going to soak some experience there with them as well. Make sure he secures that with his teammates. And if they're not aware of the positioning of him, and you can see actually Cherryo's done the same thing on the left-hand side, so both junglers coming over here, and Jiffy's going to go up. They're looking for a gank on this dual lane early. Jifffy has been noticed there because you can see that by the position of the Leftovers. They're well aware that he was in the sky.
It was too early because even if somebody was in the mid lane, if he came crashing down, there would be nobody from FNATIC close enough to follow up off of the dunk down.
And that's going to allow Zyrhoes to soak some solo experience on this right-hand side for the time being. Talking about Zyrhoes a little bit more. Playing Chronos this game instead of the Sol. Do you think Chronos is a little bit more impactful than Sol towards the later stages?
I would say so, especially with his Accelerate, giving him a lot of attack speed in the late game. And whereas the Soul is kind of a one-trick pony with her Stellar Burst, you can kind of see her coming around. As long as you're not turning around the corner where they have vision, then you don't have to worry about Soul. You can easily dodge her boots.
And composition. I mean, composition from last game to this one, they didn't really have any late game. They had a Neath, you know? They had Neath and Sol, which I'd say Sol is probably the better of the two.
Yeah, Neath definitely not as good late game. Soul, very good late game. I say Chronos is definitely up there, maybe a little
above
bit
Sol or below?
A little bit above Soul, I would say personally.
I was thinking the same thing, and I was hoping you were going to say that too, otherwise I would have looked like a right idiot on that one. But they also do have Apollo this time round as well. Split push opportunities for them, as well as the amazing passive that he's got just to fire out a lot of damage early.
I think that Realzx didn't want to play as passive as he did last game with the Neath, specifically, and that's why he's leaning towards the Apollo this game. Overhand smash, not able to steal the blue buff. maniaKK does secure that.
Evil though onto Zyrhoes will connect, going to force out his purification, and an Athena ult coming down from MetroBoomin as well for that rotation, which it was all for those Harpies. That's all it was for. Yeah,
ultimates will be used for an early 3, almost 4 minute mark Harpies, as left side mid Harpies are.
Badgah though, he knows Zyrhoes does not have purification, so he's going to get that. And I'm a Monster is available. It will dunk onto MetroBoomin, and Badgah gets first blood for his team. Chronos rewinds into an awkward position. Jifffy with a good wall, but that crush will zone him out for a second. But he jumps to the hammer back to safety. First blood for support.
Yep, that was very well done. They recognize that the Athena. Well, we do have maniaKK getting a nice stun onto Nika. However, he has no more mana to follow up off of that. Now, the first blood onto the Athena, the ultimate was down, so she had no way of getting out of the no escape. So that was the easy kill. Not only that, the Ares forced out the ultimate from the Chronos, which was really big. So the next engagement, that's going to be their target.
We also saw Cherryo got the Fear No Evil off after that, knowing that everything had been used to try and dissuade the no escape. I'm a Monster still connected though from jungler, setting up Badgah for that first pick of the game. And once again, well, this time around, leftovers, they're the ones that are going to have the early advantage.
Yeah, so Badgah getting the first blood, not ideal to have your support, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It is an Ares, so you could snowball off of that alone. The damage from chains, if you hit level 7, you hit level 9, right at the same time as the enemy mids and junglers are, then your chains are going to be hurting a lot. And Badgah's been pretty good the first game about hitting his chains.
Well, he's gone for Wing Blade this time as well, not gone for any sort of extra damage with this. Wing Blade giving the extra mobility, and it's a good item, right?
Exactly, and the fact that he got that first blood allowed him to finish it probably earlier than he would have expected to.
And you can see Traveler's Shoes actually picked up by MetroBoomin in response there, so good mobility for both of those, but at the moment we'll see how that works out. MetroBoomin with his first entry to the SPL so far, at least that's what I believe. We'll probably find out he's renamed and he's something else.
Yeah, and before he's...
It's Sturgis. I bet it's Sturgis. You never know.
Yeah. So we do have MetroBoomin coming around the corner, probably going to ward. We do have the Badgah around the corner as well, looking for aggressive play, and why not? You already have the Wing Blade. You want to utilize this mobility.
Oh, he's ganking mid lane, though. Pressure once again coming out, but Jungler just sentineled over the wall, has to purify the taunt now, otherwise that was a lot of damage that was going to connect from Zyrhoes in response. So leftovers with the aggression, FNATIC on the defense once more.
It's very scary when you don't have your escape and you get Athena taunted with a Thor and the Chronos right around the corner. The follow damage is just too much, and recognizing that jungler purifying there, I respect that. The damage might have got, even if it wouldn't have killed him, it would have got him low enough where he had to back anyway, and that would have opened up something for FNATIC.
Leftovers to turn up the pace a little bit more this game as well, don't you feel? Like last game round, you saw it was the other foot. FNATIC were the ones with all the aggression. This time, it looks like Leftovers, they're the ones trying to get off to a good start. I think the confidence is flowing with them after that last game.
Yeah, Cherryo has been very good about forcing the situation this game where he got an early Athena ultimate and the purification out of Chronos. He got chased around a little bit, and then Badgah followed up off of that. Speaking of Badgah, gonna find
no escape.
No escape.
Gonna force the ultimate from MetroBoomin. Jifffy actually takes to the sky there as well and dunks into the damage and picks up Cherryo. I'm a Monster does connect though for Jungler, who will pick up MetroBoomin and Shade, but Jifffy takes out Jungler for a double kill. Nika is here to pick up Zyrhoes as Realzx rotation once again, as always, is on point. In hands, trying to find those finger bangs if he can for the last couple of hits, but the change from Badgah will slow down his teammates from continuing the chase.
And that was Wing Blade right there, being able to loop around. We do have maniaKK diving for that third kill onto Nika. Very nicely done. FNATIC getting a 3-for-1 trade, only losing Zyrhoes in the process.
However, left-hand side, they're losing a lot of tower pressure there. Full minion wave got pushed in by Arkkyl. Arkkyl going to farm up another wave there as well, and just go straight back to base, realizing there'll be a rotation coming now.
He was very confident that there was nobody going to rotate. He dropped his ultimate and backed at the same time. Very nice, efficient farming. Realzx taking advantage of his global presence. However, Arkkyl taking advantage of his non-presence in the dual lane, getting a wave under tower. That's experience lost by Realzx. Look at the experience gap between Arkkyl and Realzx now. Level 10 versus level 9. Granted, they did get a 3-for-1 trade, but they didn't get anything after the 3-for-1 trade.
It's true. I mean, Realzx, you know, he picked up 1 assist in that engagement. He helped out his team and forced the engagement in their favor, but did lose out a little bit in the Hunter versus Hunter matchup because of it. But that's what you got to do when you don't have that global rotation. You have to try and punish the Apollo rotation.
And now the Huyi does have the short bow available, so he's going to be able to out-trade the Apollo. Also, he has no mana, Realzx, so he's going to have to back to base. And now, if leftovers see this, they can recognize and maybe open up a goal theory if they counter the Sentry side.
Well, Realzx was about to base, but instead he wants to do his balls that have just become available for him as well, so he's probably going to have to stay for another wave. And if they recognize this leftovers, like you said, this is the better opportunity for them now with him having no mana available to him. Purification is available for him, though, in case Badgah does swing in here looking for a no-escape ultimate, which it looks like he's going to look for soon. Actually, going to miss the chains there onto MetroBoomin, but keeping the pressure on. Realzx wants to stay here because he knows this minion wave's coming. At the same time, though, look where Cherryo and Jungler are. They're in position in the jungle. They may try and make a play here. Arkkyl, though, gets taunted under the tower, and that could dissuade them a little bit. As in the jungle as well, we've got a mini fight going on here with Zyrhoes. Notices Cherryo and Jungler.
Jifffy taking a lot of damage, forced to escape into the middle lane. Now Cherryo gets poked out as well, so both junglers getting poked out. As we do have Nika taking a little bit of damage in the solo lane to maniaKK as well.
Yeah, maniaKK side to control this lane. Now this is where Amaterasu starts to shine in this laning phase, isn't it?
Yes, because her aura allows her to sustain more. Every time you stand switch on her aura, you get more sustain consistently. It's about 240 around there. So, and that's a very short cooldown, especially once you have Breastplate of Valor
Oh, that was
finish.
beautiful. Going to force the ult, and immediately maniaKK going to use the ult to try and close the gap just off the mark, however, though, with that final little shot. Well aware, though, to be fair, was Nika of how far that range was, because he stopped just after him, and now I'm going to base.
It was a very nice attempt by maniaKK. He didn't get the kill, but this is like about 50% efficiency of a kill. You make him lose gold and experience under tower. Now you're also going to be able to get the tower. There's no one from leftovers to respond. You do have Cherryo rotating over, but he's there too little too late. Even if maniaKK took a couple, he could have taken like maybe 10 more tower shots there if he realistically wanted to.
And there's still a power play available for FNATIC because of this, because maniaKK has his teleport available. Nika does not. So keep an eye on that. If you see maniaKK continue to pressure Nika into this tier 2 tower, then they could force a goal for you and have maniaKK for
especially if he's winning these trades the way he is, with the being able to out-sustain Nika, forcing a rotation from Cherryo in the solo lane will open up doors in the opposite side of the map.
Well, a door that's opened up is definitely those right-hand harpies now for maniaKK to rotate around with Jifffy and Zyrhoes to pick up. They're going to be a little bit late around the corner here. Leftovers. Wall does connect with Jungler, but he's not going to follow up on it. And Jifffy realizing a bit of an awkward position, going to ult into the sky. The taunt was good. The damage is okay. The chains are still on him for Badgah, but fear no evil around the back from Cherryo. It's going to force Zyrhoes to rewind back into a potential dangerous situation. But talk about dangerous situation. Jungler's in a world of hurt. I'm a Monster's away. May try and return it with the ultimates. I'm a Monster is popped, as is the punch from the no escape. It will connect, but it's not going to find a kill. Badgah will finally pick up maniaKK, though, as taunt from MetroBoomin connects, but MetroBoomin will fall as well. Leftovers are making a good situation out of this.
FNATIC is very desperate, trying to find any return kill. As a result, they lose 3 members. They had a decent way to initiate, forcing the Scylla out of the fight early, but they just committed a little too hard. Now they lost 3 members, and now if leftovers wanted to, they can back and go to gold here right away.
I mean, once they got the ultimate of I'm a Monster, they just backed off. They dived so deep for that kill, and it hurt them so much.
Exactly. The no escape setting up the Scylla a little bit. Didn't connect on the Thor as he purified away, but then the Athena tried to save maniaKK in that situation. Jifffy trying to find the return kill onto Badgah is just a little bit too much.
A little bit too off the mark there was Arkkyl with that ricochet, looking for Realzx, as we did see Nika now over here with the support of his team, looking for the start of the Gold Fury. Badgah zoning duty with Cherryo. Arkkyl in lane with Realzx, keeping him busy, pushing that wave in is going to keep them pinned as the Gold Fury is still going down. Badgah's chains still slowing MetroBoomin down from getting in here. Gold Fury goes the way of leftovers once again.
They had nothing to worry about with the Thor ultimate being down. That's the only realistic threat that they had. Athena ultimate on top of the Thor ultimate was the only possible chance to steal. They recognized that FNATIC didn't have that option available. They started the Gold Fury. They had a good job zoning. Normally you don't want to zone too far away, as Badgah did there, but in that situation, it was a good distance to zone.
Let's have a look at the graphs now, because the gold is definitely in their favor. It's not by much, though. It's only 1,000 experience, even.
Yeah, 12-minute mark, 300 experience up. This is negligible. 1100 gold also is not much. They need to extend this a little bit more moving forward for the next objective. As long as they have the vision control, then they make the picks, and then they make the objective.
I think that's the thing with the Gold Fury as well. It's not as valuable until the later stages of the game, and the Tier 1 tower kind of equals that out from the right-hand side. But left-hand side, pressure onto Arkkyl here, but Realzx very low on health and mana, so I think they don't want to really try and contest that too much in case of the counter-rotation.
Arkkyl has been a step ahead of Realzx this whole game so far, having the short bow first behind, having the short sword, but now Realzx has backed for the balanced sword before Arkkyl has.
Yeah, Arkkyl still trying to hang around a little bit longer here. He'll clear this wave and probably head back to base. He's got balls to do as well, so probably this wave balls, next wave, nope, he'll go back to base is his option, so he should catch up and be ahead of Realzx once more.
Oh, we do have an engage as Cherryo forcing the purification out of Zyrhoes. Jifffy able to hammer away.
Jifffy didn't panic there whatsoever. His purification went down though, but he's just hung there and realized to throw the hammer at the correct time to get away from the danger. It's actually Assy we see coming out from Arkkyl here. Didn't go towards the chins early, gone for the extra sustain, which is one thing we don't see out of Realzx. There's no sustain here.
He wants to try to be able to box Realzx in this situation, especially if he gets off the mark of the Golden Crow. It's going to allow him to amplify those hits even harder. Getting more sustain out of the Assy as well is very important.
Well, it's more sustain and penetration is the other factor, I guess, as well, which will come into it just to poke them down a little bit more. Tune into the solo lane once more. Jifffy, sorry, not Jifffy, maniaKK doing an okay job for himself still, but Nika's managed to catch up a little bit more now because of those last couple of rotation and fights.
Exactly. maniaKK's early lead. We do have in the mid lane, however, Badgah forcing a lot of cooldowns. We do have...
And Monster connects onto Jungler, sorry, from Jungler there onto Boomin, but it's not enough for the kill. Jifffy forces Jungler to the backside, Realzx on the back though, going to get hit by the Crush. Sanctuary in response for both. Crush does get the end up not finding the kill. It's maniaKK that gets credit for it. Realzx has to get away from the dangers. maniaKK doing great work in this fight for his team. Jifffy supporting with the Berserker, leaving Zyrhoes free. maniaKK will fall to the bludgeon though. Realzx came back in again, looking for extra damage, but the ricochet from Arkkyl on the mark, as is the last shot to bring down Realzx.
That ultimate from the Hui cut off a huge escape path for the Apollo. He had nowhere to go, even took a little bit of damage from that ultimate, and that was a good return kill that was very necessary for Leftovers. Losing their mid laner, however, trading for maniaKK and Realzx very good. They're going to be able to put a little bit of pressure on this tier 1 mid towers.
Nice,
we do have Cherryo coming around the corner.
No evil. Arkkyl with another kill. Going to pick up MetroBoomin. Right on side, Cherryo chasing him for Zyrhoes. Doesn't have a rewind. He will fall too. There's no minions, but I don't think they'll worry about that. They can still look for this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, 4 members here for Leftovers, able to put pressure. They're going to disengage, wait for the mini wave to come down. However, they have to watch out the respawn timer is coming up. maniaKK does have teleport, so he could potentially hold this off on their own.
But I mean, Realzx no ultimate available to try and rotate in here as well, but he does teleport in maniaKK round the back here, but now Jungler's going to spot him just at the same time. They're going to collapse him with the root, with the freeze. The ult comes out, defensively used, but Arkkyl leaps onto his head for another kill.
Yeah, there was just nobody assisting maniaKK in that situation. The tier 1 tower fell really quickly. maniaKK didn't expect it to fall that quickly, and Jifffy was holding off a lot of distance. He was too afraid to engage in that situation. maniaKK coming in 1v4, getting dropped instantly. He's not that tanky right now, not finishing off Hide of the Urchin.
Not finish off Hide of the Urchin for now. Red buff will be dropped down left for Zyrhoes to pick up as well. It's once again FNATIC have slowly but surely started to drift again in this game off the pace.
Yeah, Cherryo doing a good job controlling the pace. Last game, it was Jifffy. This game, Cherryo transitioning into jungle. It's like riding a bike, right? You did it once before, you do it again.
I mean, as well, with Cherryo, look at his stat line. It's very similar to last game. He didn't get any of the kills, but he set up a lot and was involved in majority of the game.
He's making the plays. He's forcing the purification. He's forcing the defensive cooldowns like the Chronos ultimate, the Thor ultimate. And it's winning it for his team, allowing the rest of his team to not have to worry about those cooldowns.
Well, Badgah as well. Played Ares both games here, up against his former team from last year. Well, for the long-standing good 2 years, actually, he was on that team for. And then this year being replaced. And now, well, he's made his own roster to an extent with some no-names with Nika and Arkkyl as an example of those. And then picked up Cherryo and Jungler along the way to join him. And this team, well, they were starting to struggle, it felt like to me, but starting to shine a little bit more in this one.
And this is a good way to start off the second half of the season. If Leftovers comes out 2-0 in this set, they might ride off the momentum wave, and maybe they're going to scratch the surface against Cringe Crew.
Blink, no escape, going to connect with 2 targets, but both of them, Purification and Ultimate from Athena used. Chain still down, Fear no Evil in response. Zyrhoes gets annihilated from that with no Purification, he couldn't rewind either. Sun Train down from Arkkyl again. maniaKK creating a zone for his team as Jifffy dives in too, but off the mark with a shot. Eagles rally off the mark from Nika. Good wall from Jifffy though, will buy a chance for FNATIC to escape. Realzx is furthest forward, going to get hit by a chain. A second chain. Mez's to try and buy himself some protections, not going to find the Mez he was looking for though. There's double tap from Jifffy comes out, it does create another opportunity for leftovers to look to the Gold Fury.
All that damage from the Ares onto the Apollo is going to allow them to start this Gold Fury. A lot of members from FNATIC were low. We do have the Athena about half health right now. She's in the front line, going to be able to taunt out the Ares and the chains. Ares going to get focused down here.
Got to get focused down indeed. He will fall down. MetroBoomin's going to be the first one to fall as Realzx did crash into that fight and tries to get away. He will do. It reset the Gold Fury, but not for long.
Not for long at all, as they're going to reset it though. They're going to start it up. They have to make a play with this 5v4 advantage, whether it's the Gold Fury or whether it's just looking to bait in and get another pick and keep resetting, as they do exactly that. They're looking for the bait.
Yeah, they are going to look for the bait. Arkkyl gets a credit for another kill, this time onto maniaKK. Cherryo kept Jifffy out of the fight there. Realzx left here with Zyrhoes to try and contest this Gold Fury. And instead, well, all this work has paid off for FNATIC, I guess, because Gold Fury is still standing, but they lost a couple of people in a row for that.
And when you lose players like this one by one consecutively, you're losing farm throughout the map. That's sufficient farm that you're losing, and leftovers are picking it up slowly but surely. Now they're getting right side mid Harpies with the Humbats around the corner. They got the dual lane side farm earlier. So all things are pointing towards leftovers for now.
And the gold lead's starting to develop even more as well. It's about 4,000 now with the Gold Fury still standing in favor of leftovers. As we can see, Zyrhoes swinging around to the left-hand side. MetroBoomin, who made a replacement for Big Man Tings this game. We don't know the whole story behind that. I guess what will come out in the wash overall, but 0-5-2 at the moment on the Athena.
Unfortunately for him, it's also the combination of the way Badgah has been playing this area. Sitting at level 14 to MetroBoomin's level 11 Athena. Badgah, no stranger to Ares. Getting that first blood was very crucial for him. The Wing Blade, more aggressive plays, consistently hitting these chains, making plays all over with the no escapes. Everything is pointing towards Badgah this game.
3 members on the left-hand side here from leftovers at these Harpies, looking to potentially go over the wall. They'll clear out the sentry ward, head towards the Gold Fury again. They're more than anything looking for a pick here.
Yeah, just like they did earlier on. They got a pick onto the Athena earlier, and then they reset on the Gold Fury, and then they got a pick onto maniaKK, and then they reset. They're going to keep going with this strategy because it's working, so why would you change it? You have a little bit of a gold lead. You have an experience lead. Use it to your advantage.
Use it to your advantage and keep it up if you can. Look at those damage charts. We can see a couple of members of FNATIC at the bottom there. Realzx and Jifffy not managing to get up there in the standings yet. Arkkyl a little bit low himself, but credit for himself. He's got 4 of those kills, so as long as you get the last hit, you're the best hunter player in the world, right?
It's very important for a hunter to get those kills. I'm sure Barracuda is crying right now as you say that, because Jeff Hinla is known to have the first or more first bloods than any other support.
That's true. He just steals them all away from Barracuda. That's what it is. He's at 4 at the moment. I think the highest first blood in both sets of SPL, EU and NA is 5 at the moment, which is held by Adapting and Xaylia, I believe. Or Adapting then Xaylia is talking about. Anyway, enough about those European teams. It's back to this one. Leftovers with the Gold Fury. Half health. Suns a drop, which means they're fully committing. maniaKK trying to get in there, but Fina Weaver going to be used and no escape as well. But he ults in place to try and return some damage. Eagles rally to avoid that damage. Jumps away, does Cherryo to the safety. Jifffy off the mark with his ultimate again, looking for Cherryo. Cherryo though looking for Zyrhoes, which is going to force him to rewind back to full health again, but he's behind the team now. Realzx comes crashing in as well. Arkkyl takes out Boomin as Realzx takes out Cherryo, but Realzx under pressure from Arkkyl with the leap in. Was knocked up, but a good sanctuary. 3 autos in a row will secure a double kill, and Jifffy over the wall says, no, my friend, no triple.
That damage from Arkkyl is just too much for FNATIC to handle. He's level 20 right now, highest level in the game, rolling off of his success, already at 6-0-1. They got the Gold Fury. Now it looks like they're setting their sights onto the Thor. Nice blink from Badgah, getting off 2 chains, but the Flames is going to secure the kill.
Secures the kill, which buys him even more time now. I mean, that's 40 seconds until we see Jifffy come back on the map. MetroBoomin will be available, but where's the engage going to come from? maniaKK's going to have to teleport in here, potentially, if they go for the Fire Giant, but instead, Leftovers taking the Wiser Ride in, going to take some of these towers.
Because not only are they putting pressure on the solo side, we did have Jungler put pressure on the middle, and now he got the left side mid Harpies. They're going to back and buy. We probably have them sitting on a lot of gold in hand as well.
Let's check in gold in hand and just see what the boys at Leftovers are. They are returned about 2,000 each, roughly, between 1,500 and 2,000. So they'll head back, continue working on their builds there. Midgardian Mail picked up for Badgah in this. More crit online as well for Cherryo this time round. Spirit Row being worked on by Nika.
So the way that fight earlier on, after the Gold Fury engaged by FNATIC, was really well done. We had Zeros coming in around the mid Harpies, being a distraction, and then people turned onto Zyrhoes, and then you had Jifffy crashing down trying to save Zyrhoes. And in the beginning of the fight was really good for FNATIC because nobody died in that situation. They were getting off a lot of damage, but then once Arkkyl started just chunking the Apollo, that allowed the rest of Leftovers to just clean up.
I mean, Arkkyl picked up one first of all. He picked up MetroBoomin, and then straight after that got Realzx as well, and it cleaned up. And now maniaKK under pressure here. Ricochet off mark there, but the ultimate was forced by maniaKK into Athena. Weaver well placed and pushes him back to the team with the chains. He can't dash away. MetroBoomin's going to dunk into death as Jungler gets one. No escape, pulls in another for Arkkyl to get another kill. And now they can look for the tier 2.
When you have this kind of a setup for jungler Scylla, it makes it seem so easy to hit these Scylla ultis. He covered the option, not allowing maniaKK to escape. You have the passive aura giving him a lot of movement speed, but he was slowed by the Ares, so that allowed a very easy Scylla hit.
Zyrhoes.
You had the Athena that got pulled in from the no escape, allowed a second consecutive Scylla hit.
Zyrhoes started defending against 4 there, doing a good job. There was no minions as Realzx trying to split push to victory here, looking for the tier 2. Nika getting very low on defense here, but Realzx keeps getting aggro because of the throwing dagger hitting the tower. Will proc. Zyrhoes under pressure, has to sanctuary away. Blink from Badgah off the mark with the chains, but they'll find the kill anyway before rewind can happen.
So much damage from Arkkyl getting that last hit. We do have Leftovers putting pressure onto this tier 2 tower rather, as the Apollo just back to base now as the Bellona teleported to this dual lane side of things. We do have Jifffy putting pressure on the tier 1 mid tower. FNATIC is looking to get anything in return. They're behind a little bit. They're trying to split push. So far it's working out for them. We'll see.
Jifffy has no ult though, so this could be pressure. His hammer down the wall was good, but the Eagles rally was better. Purification now down as well. FNATIC forces the sanctuary on Jifffy as well. Now he's going to get to the sky. He will escape in time. If that chain would have connected though, could have been a different story.
And now that would have been really funny if the monkey bounce hit him again, because he instantly crashed down. So he knew the monkey bounce was down this time. He didn't make the second mistake twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Fool me twice, ow.
Ow, shame on me.
Feels bad, man. That's what it should be.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man. 20-5 is the scoreline. 1-0 Leftovers are up after the first game. Game 2 looks like it's going to go the same way right now. Firegiant hasn't been looked at by Leftovers just yet, which is just like last game, really. They took all the towers down first of all before looking for it. And the way they've been playing the Gold Fury fights this game tells me that they tried to bait in a couple of times first before going for it.
It's not a bad idea to stall out the game in this situation. You're up 8,000 gold. It's a nice, comfortable lead at the 24-minute mark, but it's not a situation where you could just blindly do Fire Giant. You still have to be slow and steady.
I mean, you mentioned about stalling out a little bit more, but we're starting to get that stage where Chronos could start to factor in a little bit more, and Realzx is going to start reaching a little bit more of his build. Yes, he's behind Arkkyl, but if those two start coming online, there is still chances for FNATIC.
I agree, but what I meant by stalling out was still putting pressure onto the towers necessarily, not necessarily just farming. You're going to have Realzx taking a lot of damage, chains connecting, Sanctuary being forced, Hui ultimate able to secure the kill.
Don't think you really need the ultimate there, but it was more flashy than anything. They do pick up the kill onto Realzx. That'll get him a tier 1 tower on the left-hand side here, with 2 members of Leftovers cutting off the option from the tier 2 tower here to stop reinforcements coming in. They'll take this one down and continue marching with a full minion wave now coming with them.
5v4 power play available for Leftovers. They're all grouping up towards the duo side of things. Gold Fury is respawning right about now. So after this tower, they're definitely going to set their sights onto that. Zyrhoes
is still mid lane here, so they're going to give this one up for FNATIC, and I don't think Leftovers want to give it up for free. Great Ricochet once again, going to hit MetroBoomin, and boom goes your face. Arkkyl credit for another kill in this game. His Hoagie's pretty good.
Pretty good, definitely. Was 6-0 about 4 minutes ago. Already at 10-0 at the 25-minute mark. And now recognize that Zyrhoes is mid lane. They have only 2 members available to defend this Phoenix. Jifffy comes crashing out, forcing the purification out of Arkkyl. It's not going to matter, though.
I'm a Monster crashes in again, and Arkkyl will pick up the kill with the enhance. Phoenix falls. However, Zyrhoes does get the tier 2 tower in mid lane, but he'll wander away after that, realizing he's not going to be able to do anything else. However, the respawn of Realzx and the evaporation of Realzx happens.
Oh my goodness. Sometimes you don't want to let the enemy back in that situation. Maybe Zyrhoes could have went for the middle Phoenix, and the idea was Realzx would stop people from backing, but there might have been a miscommunication, or maybe that wasn't the call at all. And they punished Realzx exactly like you mentioned, right off the bat, respawning into another death. This opens the door even more for Leftovers. Now they could put pressure on Firegiant and start warning it up and being able to secure that objective.
It's not a good situation. It's not something we normally see in the slash lines either. When you look at down that list, you've got 0, 0, and 4. You've got Realzx 1 and 4. Not normal things you'll see. And obviously MetroBoomin standing for this game, whether he's a full-time replacement or he's just for this game. Currently 0 and 8. He's not really been able to get anything going. But let's be fair, the whole of FNATIC having Firegiant has been started up for a second to close the gap, and MetroBoomin will now go 0 and 9.
Really good ricochet, setting up the Scylla crush, just doing a lot of damage. I know the surrender vote has been started for FNATIC. This is the second game, however, I wouldn't really like to see this game. Normally you would only want to surrender during the first game of a set, you know, recollect yourselves. In the second game specifically though, as we do have Jifffy coming crashing down onto Arkkyl.
Oh, but Jungler got a very good route off onto Jifffy to stop him following up, and Jungler will get credit for that kill, supporting his teammate. Zyrhoes looking for Arkkyl potentially, but surrounded by multiple members, tries to go in for damage. Sanctuary is good, but if he tries to rewind, he'll die. I'm a monster off the mark. The Winged Blade playing dividends against the chain, but the chains will be enough for Badgah to get the kill against his former team and make it a 2-0 victory for Leftovers.
Really good play from Leftovers, and especially by Arkkyl that second game.
Well, both games, realistically. Arkkyl both games had a good performance, but the whole of Leftovers did. I think Cherryo and Jungler in the mid lane, the switch seems to be working for them. I don't know necessarily their actual mechanics and playstyles of the roles are better than each other's. I think it may be to do with shot calling.
Exactly like you mentioned, Cherryo was known to be the shot caller for this team. He transitions back into the jungle position, which he's very comfortable with. Clearly, we saw him setting up his team very well. Jungler capitalizing off of Cherryo's initiations, getting a lot of Scylla hits.
We've also got Badgah as well on this team, who is a shot caller in his own right as well. And I guess him combining with Cherryo and Badgah, pretty much the leader of this team. And you can see this is one of the engagements around the Gold Fury here. He gets a good no escape off onto Tinks. And this was the turning point of game one, if you remember, where Big Man Tinks falls down for the second time in a row. And this is just the follow-up he does with his team.
This is where FNATIC tried to bait in, but they just couldn't stop Nika and Badgah going in.
He's just the whole play of the Gold Fury fight here, where he's just tanking up for his team. He set up the first kill on Big Man Tings, helps to zone for his team, and then once again goes back to zone work as soon as he recognizes maniaK's on his way. Keep him in combat, keep him at bay. He's not got chains, but maniaK doesn't know that, so he's just hanging around waiting and goes back to the fight again.
And this is just really good awareness from all of Leftovers, not just one individual player.
It's true. It continues once again. I know we're following it with Badgah's point of view, but the whole team just knew what they were doing. They were coordinated and did their job as a whole.
At the start it was Badgah, but at the end it was all of Leftovers.
And that was the second Gold Fury, because the first one went for free for Leftovers. However, the second one was contested, but they came out on top again.
Exactly.
Great performance. Not just him, though. Arkkyl, we mentioned him, game one, game two. Both good performances. Quadra-kill in that first game as well, which came off the whole team working well as a team.
Yeah, that Quadra-kill allowed him for the Fire Giant afterwards. I believe this is the beginning of that Quadra-kill, like you mentioned.
Well, let's have a little look, because you can see it's the team that does work, and he actually retreats back to safety to begin with. I'm not sure how he ends up getting these kills. Oh, it's sleepy time. That's how he gets like. I was like, how did he get that first one? Sleepy time to the rescue. And he just sits at the right distance for a hunter, really, and stays with his team.
Easy cleanup for him, allowing his team to be the ones aggressing and absorbing most of the damage, but at the same time not being afraid to initiate past the tier 2 tower for this fourth kill onto Realzx.
And then he can't find the one on Zyrhoes because he was like, no. You see the ricochet, he's like, no, I'm not going to get it. Let's focus on objectives, which is very important. Talk about objectives. There's a nice easy fire giant for them. And then the Gold Fury once again.
Exactly. Extending their Quadra kill to a fire giant to a Gold Fury, getting the towers, getting the Phoenixes afterwards. This is how a team has to play if they want to win in the SPL right now.
And here is the end of that game one as well, where he's just sitting at range, still doing damage over and over again, trying to do what he can for his team as well. Very, very good performance from him.
Yeah,
I mean, that was just game one.
That was game one, exactly. But game two specifically, Arkkyl even outperformed his first game, as we see the second game just going off. He was, I believe, more than 10-0 in the second game.
10-0 towards the end of that. And he's, once again, it's the same sort of position inside the back. Yeah, sorry, ended up 12-0. He was 10-0 when we last looked before that last little engagement. But he sits in the right position most of the time. And it is a team effort, though, let's be honest. The whole team is doing the right thing, but Arkkyl, because of his position and his team allowing him to get there, is going off now.
He was level 20 in that specific play, able to hit 3 hits onto the Apollo, getting him more than half health.
More than half health, and then once again back to the objective control, which has been the focal point of this whole team, and one of the reasons for the victory this time around.
Yeah, we do see more objective control out of Leftovers. They're just not afraid. This is the situation where Zyrhoes was split pushing in the mid lane. Jifffy came crashing down. It didn't matter though. And then they got the Phoenix afterwards. The Ama Monster connected, getting maniaKK very easily.
You saw it was 23-5 at that one. But that really does help out the Leftovers as well. I mean, they just come off the back of a split with Dignitas and a loss to Cringe Crew, who are potential rivals for them to try and make it there. Good news is, though, we do have Jungler, who's not the jungler. He's the mid laner on the line right now. Jungler, how are you doing?
Hello, guys. I'm feeling good, yeah. How about you guys?
Not bad. First question, are you changing your name to mid laner?
No.
Is it a permanent switch, by the way?
Well, you know, we forgot to trade, yeah, right?
Is that what it was?
My name's Jungler. I can't obviously play over roles, right?
I mean, yeah, that's what the name would
But-
imply.
Yeah, we our playstyles for the role when we got into the bye week, we tried it out in scrims and it went a lot better than recent results.
Okay, so
So we decided to change it.
when you say you changed it and it went better in scrims, what was the big change that you guys felt was the reason for this role swap to happen? Was
It's
it
just our
mechanics or-
playstyles.
Okay.
It's just playstyles. I was more passive in the jungler as a jungler, so that kind of fits into mid where you're not playing that aggressive,
So,
as well as Cherry having already played jungle.
True.
so was it your call to go Scylla specifically, or are you just comfortable playing Scylla? Because I know Cherryo has played Scylla a lot specifically. Is this something that is a team dynamic, or is this something that's your own playstyle?
More own playstyle. I only had about a week and a half to actually practice during the bye week and obviously this week. So I just decided to pick Scylla because it was both a comfort pick and it picked well into our comp.
So with this game, you know, going forward now, you've basically beaten FNATIC, which is a good position to be in. What's your hopes for the season, jungler? What's the plans for leftovers? Are we looking mid-table? Are we trying to make a push for DreamHack still?
I think mid-table is definitely like there, but I think we could make DreamHack depending on how we play the rest of the season.
Awesome. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just a shout out to the fans and to the team for playing well. Arkkyl especially really stepped up, and GG's to FNATIC.
Yeah, Arkkyl as well. I mean, he had a great game for both those two games as well. Is this a normal performance we should expect to see out of him?
I guess from now on, yeah.
And if he doesn't, what are you going to do? You're going to switch roles with Nika, or...?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go ADC instead. You can go mid.
Thanks a lot for joining us, jungler. Fantastic performance today for you and the leftovers. They moved themselves on to 2-0, but we've still got 2 more sets to go today. And we'll have to look at the standings and see, well, first of all, where that ends up with leftovers and FNATIC. Leftovers climb above them.
Yeah, right now we still have Panthera at 15-1. We do have the leftovers squeezing up to 6-8 right now. This is a very good way to start off the second half of the season. Unfortunately for FNATIC, dropping to 5-13, they're going to have to do a lot if they want to improve for the second half.
I'll talk about people that need to do a lot. Cringe Crew and Torpedo both vying for domination. And then Dignitas are going to go into that freight train that is known as Panthera and see if they can find a possible win that Cringe Crew did earlier in the season. That's all still to come today, boys and girls. So make sure you stay tuned. We'll be back after this short break with that Cringe Crew versus Torpedo game.